1.
Hey guys, welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. I'm here with Brian,
Good day to you, sir.
Jake,
Hey guys.
Jeremy,
Yo.
and I'm Chris, and the Game Awards are tomorrow.
Hype.
Yeah,
So Chris,
Get
I see you
hyped, dude.
introduced us as Cohesive Friendship Unit. Or is this not an official edition of
Oh,
the
dude, I'm
the
excited.
podcast formerly known as Early Access?
No, this is special.
This is a special event.
This is special, yeah. So
Is it going
It's
to
a
be
hot
in its own
fix.
YouTube playlist?
I don't know, dude. So the
It's
Game
It's a hot
Awards.
fix. That's what this
Own
is.
thing now.
So the Game Awards are coming out tomorrow. Usually we don't single out like IGN and GameSpot and like all those other Game of the Years, but this one we are focusing on partially because of the popularity surrounding it, and more importantly the fact that it's kind of an event where big unveilings happen. It's kind of estimated that there's going to be up to 14 unveilings of new games, and there's going to be a lot of other game footage sprinkled in. So the first one that we're going to talk about that's totally confirmed is PUBG. A couple things. One, it's supposed to hit next week. It's supposed to hit PC and Xbox full 1.0 next week with the new map. Did you see the pictures of the new map?
I have not.
Okay, well, today they just released a few new pictures of the new map, and they said tomorrow they're going to have a full launch trailer with footage of the new map and all that, and shortly thereafter they're pushing the map into the test servers. So is there any excitement for this?
So they'll have days to test it before it supposedly launches in its finished edition. Lots of time to work out those potential bugs.
I mean, most games don't QA with the entire world. They QA on their own. So
Most games work.
Yeah, apparently
Okay.
PUBG needs it.
So are we excited about this?
No, I mean, well, about having the map or about PUBG being in contention for.
No,
The
just
map.
about the map.
Oh,
And coming
about the
out.
map? No, still not really. I mean, I think it's an about damn time sort of thing.
All right.
I've been saying it's not that hard to add a map since day one. So I'm glad that they're giving it to us, but I think it's quite a bit late.
Fair enough.
I feel like it's everything that they do. It's like it's nice that they're doing a new map, but that's not what we need or want. I mean, we tried to play PUBG a couple nights ago, and we hopped in like 3 or 4 games and had to leave because one of us crashed or something went wrong.
Well, yeah, but that's
So 4 out of the
We-
6
we-
games we tried to play didn't work.
yeah, but we talked about this earlier. How like the test server code seems a lot more stable. The stuff that we've been playing on hasn't been updated in like 3 months at this point. But the test server code seems to be much better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna believe that until it actually gets pushed out.
All right.
Because I mean, they said vaulting was gonna take no time at all, and it was gonna be great. And here we are, still no vaulting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy that we're getting a new map. Like again, yeah, it's kind of about time, but it looks pretty cool, and I'm excited to see a trailer of it.
So, I guess follow up. Do you think that they're still going to launch at the end of Q4 as they said they were going to?
No, so it's not Q4, it's next week. It's the 12th. They're supposed to launch.
Oh,
I mean,
like a full launch.
yeah, like the game comes out on Xbox and PC.
Oh, it's going to be.
Is that like on the online store, or?
It's no.
It's
So
coming
actually,
out of
there
early
were
access.
physical copies in Walmarts on Reddit today.
Wow.
So they're out. I feel like they're not going to delay it because
No.
They're definitely gonna
Yeah,
launch.
but I don't know, man. Maybe this is a point where you
Like
should
I
say
assume it
it's-
will be pretty good. I assume it'll play the way that it played on the test server, which was better. But like at this point, I've been playing PlayerUnknown's Battleground for, half a year-ish, something like that, maybe a little more. And so like I don't know, I don't expect it to be a significant departure. So it's not like we're getting a new game. We're getting a map, maybe. I mean, we're getting a map, but
yeah, we're getting a map next week. And how do you think it's gonna run on the Xbox One? That's where I have
like
my reservations.
crapola.
I think it's gonna
Yeah.
chug. think it's going to chug bad.
If it chugs on our rigs and we all have pretty good computers, there's no way it's going to run better on an Xbox One.
Well,
it can be optimized more, but
it doesn't have the memory, the RAM to load the assets.
It has as much RAM as my computer has. It has 8 gigs. How much does
yours have?
8 gigs of RAM.
And how much does your 1080 Ti have?
Well, that's VRAM. But I see
VRAM's used to load assets and to render all the things like AA, post processing that you're not going to get.
Yeah, no, they're targeting 30 frames a second, which we all run over, and I'm sure it's going to be lower settings. But
the thing I would be worried about the most is the menus, because picking up stuff and managing your inventory quickly is kind of a big deal.
It's definitely not mouse and keyboard friendly, but
yeah, for sure.
It's definitely not controller friendly.
Sorry, controller friendly.
Yeah,
I meant controller friendly. I'm still excited. It'll be cool to see them
fail, crash and burn.
I don't think they're gonna crash and burn.
Dude,
It'll be
no,
cool.
this is gonna be a huge black eye for them. This is gonna be huge because people that if you go to the store, like
the map or the launch.
Yeah, the map or the launch.
The launch. There's something different about going to the store and buying something physical. At least for me, there is, and I know if I went to the store and bought what they have right now, or a slightly improved version of it, which I'm assuming the launch version is going to be. It's going to be similar to the test server that we saw with vaulting, essentially, in a new map, right?
Yeah.
More or less. If I bought that on a console, I would not be satisfied with that. I think that it's going to run like crap.
It's early access for Xbox. Like it's 1.0 for PC. It's early access for Xbox.
Right, but when it's on the
saga
store shelf, when it's on the store shelf, it's no longer in early access.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like people aren't going to buy that and then by the way, this is in early access, so we're really sorry if it's not finished yet.
I see what you're saying, and I see how it's especially weird
at the very least.
Well, it's especially weird that it's getting like this like weird half treatment where it's getting treated as like a thing that's out, and that it's like a lot of people are giving it Game of the Year nominations and stuff, but it's also it gets a lot of at least for me, it gets a lot of like, oh, it's still in early access, give it a break, man. It goes like back and forth.
That's what all the cucks on the PlayerUnknown's Battleground Reddit say, because they just are cucks.
At the very least, it gives a company which has already sort of demonstrated that they don't really have their shit together in whatever way you want to argue, but something's not quite right there. It gives them now 2 platforms to concentrate on instead of 1 at the best.
That's a good point.
So yeah. I'm not optimistic. Call me a storm cloud, but I'm not optimistic.
The storm cloud is not optimistic. The little ray of sunshine over here is. So
all you guys are little rays of sunshine.
We're gonna
grow up. The world is a cold place, man. It's cold and hard. It'll eat you up and spit you out.
Was that for the viewers? That's
for anyone that's listening, man. That's life advice. That's real talk right there.
We're gonna move on to some predictions. So, like I said, there's estimated around 14 kind of game reveals, game unveilings. Just a few kind of like notes. The PUBG thing that we just talked about. Kojima is going to be at the Game Awards, Hideo Kojima. So people are kind of guesstimating that Death Stranding might be shown, which would be the first time in a long time. Some people are saying there might even be gameplay. And Nintendo has kind of been making a little bit of a big deal where they have invited a lot of, or not a lot, but they've kind of raffled off tickets to some fans, and they're bringing fans over, and they're acting in a way that's like we're gonna show something. And there's supposed to be a Zelda DLC, and the Animal Crossing app just came out. So those are just 2 ideas. I don't know. Does anyone have any guesses as to what any of these game unveilings could be? They can be like your wildest dreams, or they can be like more rooted.
So, Chris, before we do some wild speculation, maybe you could give us some context. In years past, what sort of game reveals have we seen? Do you have any sense of that?
Yeah. last year it was like kind of a healthy mix. I know last year I especially watched it specifically for Zelda Breath of the Wild. So that
And was that like the first footage?
No, but it was
A
like
new trailer?
It was a new trailer, and they kind of announced it ahead of time. They were like, "Watch this if you want to watch Zelda." So I did. They showed last year. They showed a Death Stranding clip, which is why Death Stranding might be on. They unveiled Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series. They unveiled Dauntless, Prey. They showed the Zelda thing, Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment, Halo Wars 2. They showed a new Walking Dead trailer. They had a Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay world premiere. So yeah, they had some reasonable stuff.
So a healthy mix of some trailers for titles that we already had announced, and some reveals for some medium tier, not quite marquee titles, but still pretty big titles.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll go first. I personally think, and I'm going to start with Nintendo, because I think they're the most interesting. One, because they historically have a really, really big direct in January where they kind of show all of the games that are coming out. And additionally, they have the Zelda DLC that's supposed to come out by the end of the year. We haven't heard anything from it. And they have this Animal Crossing app that just came out. And usually they push a mobile game before they push the main game. So for Nintendo, I think there's a reasonable chance that we see a Zelda trailer. I think there's a reasonable chance that we get an Animal Crossing tease that's then shown again at the at the January Direct. I think we might get a Metroid tease that gets people excited for the Nintendo Direct, just like a teaser, because at E3 all we got was a logo. And the last thing I think might happen is they just announce that Smash Switch, like a remake of Smash 4, Smash Switch, a port, is slated for winter, spring 2018. So we have like the next big game to look forward to. And it's a port, so it's not, it's not the hugest deal. Then other than that, I think we'll see a Death Stranding trailer. And I also think we'll probably get something else from The Last of Us, but that's all I got.
That seems pretty reasonable. I think more Last of Us seems pretty likely. I think in terms of Nintendo, I don't think you're going to see a new Metroid trailer. I think that's too big of an event. I don't think they're far enough in the game.
Not even like a teaser?
No. I think they'll save that for their Nintendo main, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, the Direct. Because, I mean, the Direct is the Direct. Even I've heard of that. It's a super, big event as it is. I don't think you need to build hype for it. So I think that they won't they won't use a teaser there when I don't think they have that much of Metroid done. The only thing I think of the list that you just mentioned was not Animal Crossing, not Metroid, not Super Smash Brothers. What was the other one? Not
Zelda DLC.
What was like the first one? Yeah. I think it'll be Zelda DLC. They've already announced it. So it's supposed to be out by the end of the year. I expect that they'll stick to that commitment. I bet they'll show some Zelda DLC.
That's like my least likely one, and I neglected to mention this, but there's a guaranteed live stream of it next week. So it seems...
Well, actually, I think that makes it even more likely, because I think that the stakes for them are different than what they were last year, so I don't think you'll get the same sort of reveal here. I think they're going to save it for the Direct.
Yeah, well, it was just a minute and 30-second trailer last year for Zelda. It wasn't like anything huge.
Right, but I think that's all. If they did like Metroid, I think they only probably have a minute and 30-second trailer.
I think Metroid is the least likely. I think the others are more likely. But Jake, anything?
No, they haven't even announced an Animal Crossing game. So
yeah, this would be when they would announce it.
Yeah, I think they're going to announce an Animal Crossing
that's too big
game.
of a title.
Jake,
you think they are?
I think so. I think you're right, Chris. I think the mobile game dropped first, and then they're gonna announce the Switch.
The app dropped. They got 15 million downloads in 9 days. They sold it's selling Switches like crazy in the holidays. I think now would be a reasonable time.
But the only real pattern for dropping a mobile game and then a console game is Super Mario Run and Super Mario Odyssey.
No,
and the idea that Mario was going to launch with the Switch.
Pokemon X and Y.
Yeah, but then Yeah, but then when I tell you later about how Pokemon is a big IP, they're like, it's not their IP, man. I don't
Yeah, but
like.
I'm
It
sure
doesn't
they
sound
were
like
in-
they had that much to do with Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Fair. Then
I don't think that really helped
mean-
establish the pattern, and that was also quite a ways apart.
Fire Emblem and Fire Emblem Warriors. But yeah, they announced them
They'd
shortly after.
They announced Fire Emblem.
No, they
Right.
did it at the same time.
I don't know. I think they've announced too many titles as being in the works. I don't think they would. They only have so many big IPs. That would mean they're like, oh, we've announced Metroid, we've announced Animal Crossing. Like, you're burning through IPs quick there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they also show some gameplay or some trailer for their new Fire Emblem game. I know they
That's
just
true.
launched the Fire Emblem Heroes.
Oh, in the Warriors game, yeah.
That is a shame that the Dynasty
No,
Warriors version is
So
a stain on the legend of Fire Emblem. So I'm hoping to see some actual footage or something for their new Fire Emblem game in 2018.
I mean, they announced a little while back that they were developing one on the Switch, and they didn't even have like a logo. So maybe now they'll like show us, something like a small tease.
So I'm thinking maybe something from there. I'm wondering if maybe they will drop some more on Beyond Good and Evil 2 that they showed at.
Oh yeah, that would be
was it
nice.
E3?
Yeah, Ubisoft.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool to see.
That would be cool.
I think more footage from Monster Hunter World's gonna come out.
That would be cool too. 'Cause that's coming out kind of soon.
Yeah, and I know that at least the game has got good progress on it. I know a lot of reviewers have played it, so
Okay.
we'll probably see some footage from that. We'll probably see some Red Dead footage or gameplay.
That's good. That's a good one too. Red
Probably
Dead.
more on Last of Us, be my guess. I haven't heard that
Alright.
much about Last of Us, so I'm guessing they'll probably drop another big trailer or something.
All right. Jeremy, anything?
You guys are more knowledgeable about this than I am. That sounded, just from what I know, like a very solid lineup of predictions from Jake. I feel pretty confidently that we will not have an new Animal Crossing title announced. But I would say that maybe some Fire Emblem footage or a teaser or something, that would be a lot more likely to me.
All right. Brian, anything, or should we move on?
No, I don't have anything to say.
All right. He has
move on.
nothing to say.
Yeah,
all right, so we're going to just talk about two of the categories now. Go over the two categories that I think are like the not the biggest, but one of the biggest and two the easiest to talk about. And I just want to hear if you're comfortable saying what you think personally should win, and then based off the list. Doesn't necessarily have to be your game of the year, but based on the list, like what do you think should win, and then what you think will win. So I think we'll start with most anticipated game. That one is, I think, of the list, a good one to talk about. 2018 is coming up. Some good games on this list. So we have The Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Marvel Spider-Man, and God of War. So does anyone want to go first?
Well, I'm just going to throw out that it's important to know that the most anticipated game presented by McDonald's McCafe is selected not by the jury, but exclusively by fan votes from across a variety of online platforms. So this is a popularly selected winner.
Okay. Well, so Jeremy, what is your off of these five? What is your most anticipated, and then who do you think is going to win?
I'll start with who I think is going to win. I think it's probably going to be The Last of Us Part 2. I think that's the game of these titles here. I don't want to say the most hardcore. It has a good balance of a pretty aggressive hardcore following that I think is fairly likely to vote. I think it's a title that's recognizable enough that people coming across that poll online would throw that name in. I think Monster Hunter might have the most aggressive fan base, which could be something that put you over the top here. So I'm going to go most likely for me would be Last of Us Part 2 to win, and then maybe at a second tier would be Monster Hunter World as the second most likely to win. As for which I am most anticipating, Red Dead Redemption if it comes out on PC.
Not for a few years, dude.
Fuck. Are fucking any of these games gonna come out on PC?
They're
Probably
mostly
not.
Sony. They're
Yeah,
mostly
so
Sony.
I guess go fuck myself because I don't have a PS4.
Monster
So
Hunter
I don't.
is. I know that much.
Yeah, but that's the one I'm anticipating least. So
I think
I
God of War
don't know
probably
anything
as
about Monster
well.
Hunter. I just don't know anything about it. I've never played it.
All right, I'm gonna come on to Jeremy a little bit and say that I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is gonna win because it was supposed to come out this year and then they delayed it. So
that's a fair point.
I think there was a little bit of fervor, like people were getting ready for it, and they cut it off and they said nope, 2018. I think that's kind of the reason. So like there was all kind of the hype in the air, and then everyone's bummed out that it's not there. So like, oh no, we want it now. So I think Red Dead for me, and it's likely the close. It's coming out earlier in 2018, I believe.
So this category is. Sorry, did I cut you off there?
No. And I was just gonna say I'm personally the most anticipated for The Last of Us Part 2.
So this is popular vote, right? This category.
Yes.
So do you think that so Rockstar's gotten a decent amount of negative press for the amount of like microtransaction sales they do for their online mode for GTA 5? It's not to the level that EA's been getting, but do you think that's going to affect whether or not they're going to win most anticipated game?
Yeah, I think that's a demographic that's more likely to be irritated by that sort of behavior. And so I think among that group of people, yeah, it does influence it.
All right. Fair enough. So Jake, who do you think is going to win and who do you want? Or what is your most anticipated?
It's going to be between Last of Us, Red Dead, and Monster Hunter. I want to say it's going to be Monster Hunter. If it's not Monster Hunter, I think it's going to be Last of Us.
We all have different answers so far.
And the reason I think that Red Dead's not going to get it is because it's not coming out on PC, and I think that there's a huge Rockstar fan base on PC.
That's a good point. And then I guess the converse to that would be Last of Us 2 is Sony exclusive, right, whereas Red Dead is console it's Xbox and PS4. So
and PC eventually. Monster Hunter, I believe, is all platforms.
True. All right. Interesting. Well, out of those, what's your most anticipated?
I'm most anticipating Monster Hunter.
All right. Fair enough. Brian?
Well, first off, I'd like to apologize for shushing you, Jeremy. That was obnoxious, and I shouldn't behave like that.
No, homie, it's all good. I didn't want them to think that, because then I don't know. I didn't want there to be in confusion. I wasn't trying to insult anybody. I was trying to make a demographic point.
Well, I mean, regardless, I should not have.
No, it's all good,
We
fam.
don't want people to think we're not cohesive.
Oh no, we are the most cohesive. This is
I don't care if people think that we're not cohesive. I just don't want people to think that I'm a shusher because I'm not.
No, he is most certainly not.
But anyway, I think that personally, I'm most anticipating Red Dead. Not that I'm really anticipating any of them. I'm really in the same category as Jeremy. If it's not coming to PC, I don't really care about it, and Monster Hunter doesn't sound like something I'd be into. However, I will say that I think Red Dead is probably going to win most anticipated because of mainly what Jake said. Rockstar, I think, has a bigger net to cast than The Last of Us does, or more people know about Rockstar's stuff. They cross-promote it pretty heavily.
It's fairly casual too. Like a lot of people, like if you pick up a console and you only buy like 2 games a year, there's a fair chance you pick up Grand Theft Auto.
Right, and I think there's a lot of crossover between people that play Grand Theft Auto and people that play other Rockstar titles because they are very similar. So I think that just based on the fact that they have a bigger fan base to pull from than The Last of Us, I mean, I think that is probably a superior game, or it's going to be a superior game to Red Dead. But I think that Rockstar has the mass marketing thing down better with their titles, and I think that's why they'll win.
All right,
that's
sounds
just
good.
Ryan,
So yeah,
did you ever play God of War?
Me? No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gratuitously violent.
I thought it kind of looked like a Brian game.
Yeah, but are there elves?
No.
There's no elves. Just Greeks.
Just Greeks.
Greek gods.
Another
Greek
mythical
Yeah.
race.
This guy's like a
Alright,
northern
okay.
guy, though.
Well, I mean, never mind. We're gonna hop over to game of the year now. So this one, we're gonna do the same thing. Where what do you think is gonna win? And if you're comfortable picking from this list, you're welcome to pick from the list, or you can pass. But the options are Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, PUBG, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
What do you think, Chris?
All right, I will start this then. So I'm gonna give it to Zelda Breath of the Wild personally. When we do.
Is that the one you think is gonna win, or the one you would
that's the one that I would pick. I'm picking Zelda Breath of the Wild for a million reasons. That's no surprise. But I think there's honestly a fair chance that PUBG takes it if it's by vote, but it's a mix of votes,
isn't.
Right?
It's 90% the jury selection, 10% vote.
Okay, so votes actually never mind. I'm going to take that back. I'm still going to go with Zelda. If the vote was a little bit bigger, I think PUBG would probably win just because they've sold like 25 million copies. Just it's like the game this year. People are going nuts over it. But if it's only 10%, then I don't think it's going to swing the tides. I still think Zelda's probably going to win.
Okay, I mean, so I guess I would like to add a third category because the game I was thinking of wasn't on the list. I think that out of the ones that I would like to see win the most, actually, no, it's not really a third category. I would like to see Cuphead win, even though it's not on the games that you
it's up for a lot of different things. It's up for best music, best art direction, best indie.
Right, which kind of makes it the whole I mean, caveat, I've never played Cuphead and I probably never will. It doesn't seem like the type of the game of game that I would like. But when I look at it, first off, it's from an indie developer. It's been anticipated for years, and just looking at it, you can see that a ton of work went into it. It's very clearly not a cash grab. It's something that someone made because they wanted to make something that was different. They wanted to make something that had that aesthetic to it and had the music and had all that stuff in it. I think that I don't really know if you could call it a nobility sort of thing, but like in terms of who deserves to win the most, I think that they probably deserve to win the most. In terms of what game will win, I think Zelda.
I mean, I'll just say real quick, I think the nice thing about especially this year is you could argue PUBG, but I think Mario, Zelda, Persona, and Horizon, I don't think those are cash grabs at all. I think those are those studios. No microtransactions, going there all. It's home runs for the. It's all good.
That's kind of what I was.
It just doesn't have that small company.
Right, and that's why I think
nobody mortgaged their house to make Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Right, and that's part of my problem with it is that it has basically that and Mario have the whole weight of Nintendo behind them. Yeah, and like if Nintendo wants to do something right, not only do they know how to do something right, but they have the money to do it right. So they kind of should be making something that should be Game of the Year quality. I mean, I'm sure Zelda is an excellent game. Again, I have never played it, but Nintendo, I guess, deserves it, but they deserve it less in a sense.
No, I see what you're saying. No, that's a good point.
I think that there's also a very strong case to be made for PUBG winning it. I don't think that they should be in contention at all. I think that they made a very mediocre game that just a lot of people bought, which does not make it a good game. It just makes it a game that a lot of people bought.
I think it's a fun game.
It is.
But I don't think it's a.
There's nothing about it that's really, other than we've said this before, other than the fact that there's a lot of people on one map, there's nothing about it that's really any different from Game X. Pick something up off the shelf and chances are pretty good you'll see a lot of the same assets in it, you know?
More polished version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Jake?
I think that Zelda is probably going to win this one. I think it's a toss-up between Zelda and Horizon. But
For what you... Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think that since it's a jury pick, I think more people cuck for Nintendo than for Horizon. So I think Zelda's going to pull it out.
So you think if a scale had to be tipped, it would be tipped in Zelda's favor?
Yes. And I've never actually played Horizon, so I can't really argue it for that much, but I have played Zelda, and it is a fantastic game. So that's what I would pick as well.
All right. Jeremy?
It will be Zelda. Zelda is like among the highest, most critically reviewed games ever on IMDb or whichever the fuck Metacritic. Yeah.
IMDb? Yes.
Yeah, whichever.
The
You
International
get the
Movie
idea
Database.
of
It's
Zelda.
the Internet Movie Database, dude.
Sorry, my
Fuck.
bad.
So no, it's obviously going to be Zelda. And if it were a fan vote, it would still be Zelda. I think you guys made really good points about like the breadth of the player base, like on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Chris. But I think that when it comes time to voting, engagement is probably more important than breadth. And I think that the real gaming community has strongly coalesced around Zelda Breath of the Wild as like an outstandingly good game. And so I would be very shocked if it didn't win. As for which game I would pick for Game of the Year, I would pick, I guess, Zelda. I played it for a few hours. It was good. I've played the most of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but yeah, I don't know that it's really Game of the Year per se. I have no problem with it being there, but I don't know that I would pick it.
Okay.
Not Sonic Battle Adventure Battle 3.
With
No.
Knuckles?
So I would probably say Sonic Generations 3 with Knuckles would probably be.
Okay.
But didn't
My
they
runner-up.
had a Sonic game that came out this year.
They had two. They
They
had
had-
Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania. And
One of
Sonic
which was
kinda
on
shit.
here.
supposed to be good, one of which is not supposed to be
Yeah,
good.
Sonic Mania is actually nominated for a few things. But anyways, okay, so that's pretty good, though.
It's nominated for things it's going to
Well,
lose to Mario.
We unanimously think that Zelda's going to win Game of the Year, and we have 2 votes for Red Dead winning Most Anticipated. We have 1 for Monster Hunter, and we have 1 for Last of Us 2. Then we have a few other predictions. I think that's all we got. We'll definitely have a kind of post-Game Awards discussion in the next few days that'll be up that you can check out. But that's all for tonight. Brian, do you want to say anything real quick?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, well, I just want everybody to remember that while you're watching the Game Awards, you know, if you're over at a friend's house, if you're having, you know, a drink or 2 or 5 or 15, always be safe. Always designate a driver, you know. We don't want to be losing any subscribers or having subscribers in jail with DUIs because they're watching the Game Awards. So just be safe out there. We know it's a big holiday for you guys, but just remember to be safe and have fun. And by the way, we need you to just smash that motherfucking like button. Smash the shit out of that, man.
All right. That's all. Have a good night, guys.